Welcome to this video. Today we're going to see about the dice roller app. Okay, so before itself we have seen about the image widget and the cluster detectors and the buttons. Okay, so with these three widgets we can make the dice roller app in a very easy way. Okay, let's go. Create one project in VS Code and name this project as dice roller. Okay, that is very important. And run this project in Chrome. For now, if your system is alright, it's working fine, just go with Android's emulator, okay, or your real-time phone. That is enough. And choose the Chrome and run this project. Within a few minutes, it will get run on the Chrome window. Before, we need to download dice images from Chrome. Okay, so let's start. It successfully got downloaded in this Chrome. Just align to the left side. Okay, so everything seems to be good. Now we need to follow our previous step if you are using Chrome. Okay, choose the device and take the inspect window out. You will get some dimensions like phone. Choose your favorite phone from here. Okay, so now go to your Chrome and search for dice icons. You will find so many icons here. Just go to any site and download the 6 icons from there. Yeah, this is look impressive. 3, 2, 4, 1. I think 1 and 5 is missing. Let's see. Yeah, here we have. Okay, or you can choose this three-dimensional image. That is up to you. You can choose any image. Okay, there is no restriction and all. I'm choosing this image. I'm downloading this as a bin. Download the 6 images and you need to create an asset folder and you need to place this image inside the asset folder, and you also need to mention in PubSpec YAML. That is a step to add images in Flutter. Okay, I think we have downloaded 6 images. Yeah, perfect. So now go to your download location and copy the image from there and paste into the asset folder we have created. Okay, here you will find all images we have downloaded. The first step you need to do is go to this particular project folder and create one assets folder in front itself. Don't create an asset folder in any of the existing folders. Okay, so create a assets folder, go to this location. Okay, it will reveal the location. Go inside the assets folder and then copy the folder, this particular images from this folder, and paste inside the assets folder. Okay, you can't directly paste with this VS Code. Okay, so you need to go to the file explorer, then you need to paste there. Okay, so the assets has this particular images. Okay, the first step you need to, the second step you need to rename this particular images. Okay, so by clicking F2 or by right clicking and you will find the rename option. Okay, and you can also press F2. Okay, I'm making this as dice 1. which means name according to the numbers. Okay, I think this is dice 5. Dice 1. F2. Dice 3. And dice 4. Dice 2. And this one is dice 6. Okay, so we have renamed every images. Okay, the next step is to go to your pubspec camel file. First you need to check about the random function from math class. Okay, that is very important. So that I'm gonna create one button here. Elevated button or filled button, that is up to you. This is a function, and remove unwanted const keywords and name this particular button as role. Okay, and place this button in the center, like wrapping this particular button with center. Okay, the important thing is this particular design using the material design 2. Okay, for that you need to enable the material design 3 theme inside the material app widget theme data. Use material design 3 is to true. Okay, so we have successfully enabled the material design 3 for this project, and we need to do an on click action. Okay, for that we are going to use the random function from the math class, right? So let me introduce this particular concept. This is very new to you because this is an inbuilt function from the Flutter itself. Okay, that is an inbuilt library. Okay, so I'm gonna do a print from math. We should not use the math keyword. We should randomly call the random function. Okay, random. This is an inbuilt function. Okay, if you find any error in this, just import the math class. Okay, it will automatically enabled, it will automatically created when we choose this random from the suggestion. Okay, if we didn't add it, just import by clicking the quick fix. Okay, so I'm clicking this button. I will get some randoms instance. Okay, inside this you need to add some value like 6. So we are getting the random thing dot next int to the maximum of 6. I'm calling the random function, and the next integer is the maximum number of 6, which means within a 6 it will generate the numbers. Okay, I'm gonna click again, save this project. Okay, I'm gonna click again. See, I'm getting 5 3 1 4 2. That is up to the number, but it won't go exit the 6th number. Okay, 6th number, because it will generate the things from 0 to 5, but we need the particular thing from 6, right? So we need to add 1 to it, because we don't have an 0th image, we have the image from the 1, right? So kindly add the 1 to the next number, because whenever it's generate 0, 0 plus 1 it will put 1. Okay, whenever it's generate 5, 0 plus 1 it will generate 6. Okay, likewise it will generate 1 to 6 numbers. Okay, so save this particular function. Whenever I click this, I will get the random numbers from 1 to 6. Okay, this is how the random functions works. And most importantly, you can make a current number is equal to 1. Okay, remove the const keywords. And for this, we need a stateful widget, because everything we want to change on screen. Okay, so I'm removing this main app and I'm creating a stateful app and naming this app as a main, naming this class as a main. Okay, for this you need to wrap everything with whatever we did previously. For that, let me copy the ones from this. I'm copying this material app totally, and then I'm removing this stateless and then creating a stateful, naming this as a main app. Okay, and I'm replacing this placeholder with the material app widget. Okay, so for this you need to do a restart. Don't go with the reload, it won't work. So whenever I click this button, I were able to work. Okay, this is a stateful, right? So you can enable this, the particular text on screen. Okay, for this you need to wrap this fill the button with column. Sorry, with column. Okay, so it is in the top, and you need to make a main axis alignment into center, so that the vertical alignment will be under the center. Whenever we are adding 2 or more widgets, we need to use the column widget. Okay, without column widget, we can't represent more than 1 widget on screen. Okay, here I am making a text widget, which is a count. Int count is equal to 0. Int count is equal to 1, which means we can rename it as a current. Okay, and put inside it current. Okay, this is a string, so use toString component, and yeah, it's representing as 1, and scale it little bit larger, like 5, so it will be so big than the actual size. And here remove this one, and under the setState method put current is equal to random dot next integer. So here put the maximum number. In our case we need just 6 numbers. Okay, but in any other cases you can make the amount larger, maximum amount. Okay, then you need to put 1, because we don't need 0 to 5, we need 1 to 6. Okay, so whenever I click this button, it automatically will get changed according to the random number. Okay, then replacing this particular thing with an image widget. Let me tell you, we have added the assets folder, but we haven't added the pubspec.yaml file. Go to the pubspec.yaml file and choose here and create assets. Then put the location with the exact spelling. The spelling should be the same, assets. Okay, so the pubspec.yaml will get run. Whatever or whenever we make change on the pubspec.yaml file, it will get loaded in the bottom. Okay, so the next step is to create an image.asset widget. What we have seen in before video. Okay, inside we need to add the string of the assets folder, right? Assets dot dice1 dot jpg, right? So this is not exist. Let me check. We have here assets dice1 png. So it's exist but it's not showing on screen, right? So in this case you need to close this app and run again, because in Android it will run perfect, but this is a Chrome, right? So we need to rerun this. So it's perfectly visible, but the size is so large, right? So we can specify the width and height into 100. Okay, so just do an inspect. If you are working with this Chrome, that is, this is okay with this particular method, you can go with this. Okay, but I'm gonna prefer the image dimension. Okay, so everything seems to be good, and here you need to use the space. Okay, so that there's some space in between the objects. You can also add the spacer above and below the button. Okay, so that it will look fine. If you want this more spacer, because this is the one spacer, right? You want more spacer, you can represent this with the flex into 2. So this particular spacer will become so large according to other spacer. Okay, whenever I click this button, nothing happens. Okay, but the current number will get changed. You need to use the current image, current integer inside the asset string. Okay, here you need to do a interpolation. Here we call it is interpolation. Okay, you can directly interpolate the current variable inside the dice string. Okay, so I'm copying this. Whenever I'm clicking this roll, this particular dice will get changed according to the number, random number. Okay, it won't be an even. See, successfully we made our dice roller app. Okay, you can create one button, or you can make this particular dice itself a button. Okay, for example, let me tell you, I'm copying this set state method and I'm removing this whole filled button. Okay, then I'm removing all the spacers and I'm saving this one. Our dice will be in the center of the screen. So it's successfully we have enabled this. Okay, so remove the filled buttons and all the widgets except the particular image assets. Okay, wrap this particular widget with cluster detector or inkwell according to you, anything you can mention. Okay, if you are using cluster detector, there is no impression will show on the particular button. If you use inkwell, it will show some ripple effects when you are clicking that particular object widget. Okay, so I'm wrapping this particular image with inkwell. Okay, in person I will use inkwell very well. Okay, very much. Then always use Control Shift F to align. And the most importantly, we have using only one widget, so we don't need a column. Okay, whenever the column has one widget, it automatically shows remove this particular widget. Whenever the column has two or more, it won't show the remove this widget. Okay, so remove that widget and it will be definitely in the center because of the center widget. Then we have used an inkwell, right? So you need to do a on tap method here. On tap, inside the on tap, just paste that particular set state method where we are changing the current number. Okay, without the set state method there is no reflection on screen, even though the current number can change, but that won't make a reflect on screen. So make sure you are using the set state method. Inside the set state method, you need to represent the current number according to the random inbuilt function. So whenever I'm clicking this particular dice, it will change automatically. Okay, so this is how we need to create our dice roller application. You can also how do we say, you can also make another one. For example, like, again I'm gonna wrap this particular widget with a column. Okay, like you have two friends, okay, in the same mobile, you are playing this particular dice roller app. Okay, for this you need to change this particular index. Okay, like player 1 and player 2. Okay, because we are gonna create a random numbers. If you put a same number instance, whenever we are clicking this, it will show the same numbers in two things. Okay, so that you need to change this particular current into player 1 and player 2. And here also you can change in the dice one, change this particular thing to player 1. And whenever we are clicking this button, the player 1's number will get changed. Whenever we are clicking the second button, the player 2 button will get changed. Okay, but these are so nearest, so you can use space everywhere to make some enough space in between them. Okay, space and at last you need to add another space. Okay, so you can also mention this is player 1, like with the text widget, player 1, and scale this particular text to 4. And this is player 2. Okay, so whenever the player 1 is clicked, his number will get changed. The player 2 click, his number will get changed. Okay, so we need to disable when the particular person is clicking. Okay, for that we can use the ignore pointer. We have seen in cluster detectors widget, right? So you can also use that. And let me tell you in a proper way. So here we can use some logical conditions. Okay, for example, here I'm adding boolean turns indicator, or we can name this particular indicator turns to player one turn. When the player one turn, the particular player 2 will get disabled, right? So player's turn, I'm making this as a this one, and I'm making this as a true. Okay, then player's turn. Okay, then here I'm making another thing, visibility. Okay, then here I'm making the text widget. The visibility in sense, in some point it will shows, in some point it will invisible that widget. Okay, that is a visibility widget. In this particular dice roller app, we are seeing this particular additional widget, visibility. Okay, here I'm making one condition visible when the player's turn is true. Okay, it's already a true. Okay, here I'm making some text widget like your turn, and I'm scaling this particular thing as 2 and put comma end of the every widgets. So it's been like we have added everything. Okay, so we need to do the same thing for the player 2 also, but it will represent when the player's turn is false. Okay, because we are making the turns changes, right? If it is true it will be false, if it is true it will be false. So we need to change the turns. Okay, or you can make this as change turns. Okay, change turns, change turns. Okay, for this any of the particular player is true or any of the particular player is false. Okay, with this particular logic we are making this particular app. Okay, so for this we are gonna use, whenever the person is clicking the button, we are also need to change the change turn is equal to not change, which means if it is a false it will change to true, if it is a true it will change to false. Okay, it will randomly changes. You need to mention these in the set state method. Okay, for example let me tell you, if I click this one it will turns, and if this click this one the false will become true and it will turns on. Here when it comes the particular thing is true, when I click this it will change it to false. Okay, so you need to have some more concentration when we are working in this part. Okay, and also whenever the person's turns, okay, whenever we are clicking this, it is a person player one's turn, we should not click on players two, right? So but we are able to click this, so we need to disable this particular event. For this we are using the particular button widget we have seen, right? Cluster detectors widget, that particular widget we are gonna use. Okay, so for this I'm gonna disable this particular thing with ignore pointer, with the help of the ignore pointer. Okay, ignore pointer, we need to ignore this is a player 1, right? We need to ignore this one when the particular is not true. Okay, which means we are representing this as the player 1 is true and player 2 is false, right? So when it is false, we need to ignore this one. When it is true, we need to ignore the player 2. Okay, this is very tricky, but you need to understand the concept in very well. See this video at least for 2 times to know this concept very better way. Okay, we are using the ignore pointer to avoid the click action when the player once turns on. Okay, always the player's once change turn is true. Okay, so that we are using ignoring when the change turn is true. Okay, it's a boolean, so it's always a true. Whenever we are putting the not symbol, it will become false. Okay, so this is the player one's turn. Whenever I try to click this player 2, I'm not able to click because of the ignore pointer. Okay, but I'm able to click here. Okay, this is my turn. I'm able to click here, but I can't able to click here because I have set it some ignore pointer in the player 1 also. When it is false, you should not do a pointing because we are ignoring when it is false. Now it is false, so the player ones or we are not able to click here, but I'm able to click here. Okay, so you can make this particular game so interesting with so many things. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this particular video will help you to know about math, random function, and visibility. And also we have used our button widget, image widget, and also cluster detector widgets as equal. So I think this particular video will help you to go more further like advance. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video.